Hello, it's Dr. Edward, the Healing Vet, here for another live video, which we're going to dig into some more of the social dynamics of humans and how social behaviors and social patterns from the humans can affect our beautiful pets. Now, before we dig into this, I really want to make it clear that a lot of people aren't terribly aware of the kinds of patterns of behavior that they express. They might have learned them in their family, might have learnt them from their peers when they're growing up in society or whatever. There's a whole range of different subconscious or unconscious behavior patterns that most people are expressing all the time. And we don't necessarily know what we're doing with a lot of our behaviors when we move out in the world. So it's good to start thinking about, okay, how do I tick? What did I learn to do when I was a kid to survive that might not be serving me and my pets so well now when I'm, adulting, as we all have to do? So what I want to talk to today is inspired by a book by a fellow called Adam Grant, a book called Givers and Takers. So it turns out that most people fit into one of three major categories of how they interact with other people and with other beings, because these kind of behaviors inevitably spill over into how we show up with our pets and how we behave with our pets too. So the three kinds of categories of how people show up and how they behave in terms of social interactions. We have givers. Now, givers are generous people. They like to give. They don't need anything to come back. They just like giving to people. That's how they tick. Now, you have two kinds of givers. We have healthy givers who are boundaried, who fill their own cup first, who only give to others when it doesn't compromise their integrity. And they're also intelligent about their giving, so they won't be taken advantage of by takers, who we're going to talk about in a minute. Then you have unhealthy givers. You probably all know one of these. Maybe you are one of them. I have been. I know that in the past I was more on the spectrum of unhealthy giving, because unhealthy givers just give away everything all the time. They empty their own cup. They give away at their own expense. They don't give away intelligently. And it ends up kind of destroying their life a lot of the time. So you then have matches. The way matches tick is, you do something for me, I'll do something for you. I'll give you something, but only if you give me something in return. So there's a transactional kind of dynamic when you're playing with matches. And then we have takers. And takers are out to get everything they can from everybody without giving anything back if they can possibly help it. Takers are not the best people to tango with. Now, hello to everyone who's watching live. Hello to anyone who's watching on the replay. If you're watching live, please say hi in the comments. I'd love to hear where you're from. If you're watching on the replay, please say hi in the comments. I'd love to hear where you're from. And if you have any questions as we go along, ask them in the comments and I will answer them for you. So if you look at success in life and you have a bell curve of all the people and the amount of success, success, really successful over here, really not successful over here. You see some interesting things. The middle of the bell curve, kind of the average or the mean, is kind of filled up with takers and matches. On the really poor end of success and the really huge end of success, you have givers. On the really successful end of success are the healthy givers, and on the really unsuccessful end of success are the unhealthy givers. So this is how things stack out. If you get a balanced, healthy giver, because giving people, being generous, builds what I call social capital. People really appreciate it when you're generous, when you're kind, when you're looking out for them. Maybe you give a recommendation. You might say, this person's great, that person's great. You want to try this product? It's totally awesome and really help my pet. And I don't need anything back in return. I just want to help. I just want to give out of the generosity of my heart and benefit you and your pets, right? Now, healthy givers win in life. And it can be good to do a little audit, to take a look at yourself and go, right, Where do I sit on this? Am I transactional? Will I not just generously give when it doesn't cost me anything because I feel like I need something in return for that? Am I an unhealthy giver? Do I empty my cup and be left with nothing and left with no resources, no energy or anything else like that? Because if you can take a look at this, you can start changing it. That's one of the key things, because it affects your pets, right? It really affects your pets. If you're an unhealthy giver, your cup's going to be empty. You're not going to have much to give to your pets. Your pets are going to suffer because you don't have the presence and the resources and all these things to give to your beautiful pets. If you're a matcher, well, that can be okay with your pets, but you might notice that you can get a bit transactional in your emotional connection and giving to your pets too, like this. So you might, withhold a whole lot of cuddles and attention and stuff from your pets because they didn't do something for you. They didn't do what, a trick or something like that. Or on the flip side, if they did something, matches can be, if you do something I don't like, then you get in trouble. So you can have this kind of dynamic where if the dog poos on your floor, you might not talk to them for a day because you've got the poops with your dog. Unhealthy givers, well, you can overgive to your dogs. You can give them too much food and too much treats and they get all fat and chubby. And then the other thing about unhealthy givers is they don't know how to say no. So then when your fat, chubby pet who's got health problems and sore joints because they're overweight needs to go on a diet, and they look at you and say, I'm really, really hungry, you're just going to give them food. That's unhealthy giving. That's another expression of unhealthy giving. And look, if you are a taker, maybe you became a taker because you had to do that to survive when you were a little kid, Maybe that was the only way you could emotionally survive in the kind of family, or maybe you got taught it by your parents. It doesn't mean you can't change it. But if you're a taker, how your pets can be affected by this is that you might take more emotionally from them than you give. It's a possible way to do it. Also, too, how you show up in life affects your pets. So if you're a healthy giver in life, your cup is full everywhere. So your pets, you're going to be more well-resourced to care for your pets. Matches often do, reasonably well in life. Unhealthy givers do really badly in life now, and takers can seem to do well, but over time they destroy their social capital because they take and take and they don't give. And sooner or later, people are going to go, well, I'm not giving you anything more. You just take. Nobody likes that kind of dynamic. Another thing to think about too here is, okay, my pet wellness professional team, my vet nurses, my physios and body workers and trainers and all the people that I have work with my pets, where do they fit on this spectrum? Because if you can find a healthy giver or a team of healthy givers to be your team looking after your animals, you're going to come out way, way ahead of if you have, unhealthy givers and takers are people that once, if you work out that's what they are, after you've been working with them for a while, I tend to encourage you to move away from them and find someone who's got a more healthy social dynamic over time. And takers, if your only vet in town is a taker, well, you're just going to have to be a little bit onto them about perhaps over-servicing and upselling you things that you don't need, because those people will tend to have that kind of behavior. They can still be great vets or great professionals and do a great job, but you just have to have really clear boundaries about what you will and won't accept and not let them take advantage of you. And matches too, same thing. You just need to understand they can be great people. They can do a great job with your animals, but you want to just know, when you know what you're dealing with, you're not going to get disappointed. It can be a bit transactional with people who are matches when you're working with them. It can be a bit like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to do anything extra for you unless you pay me more, that sort of thing. Whereas even healthy givers will give. Often another thing that I notice about healthy givers is they will under-promise and over-deliver consistently. Matches will tend to just promise and deliver what they promise. Unhealthy givers will overpromise and underdeliver because their cup is empty and they simply don't have the resources to deliver on what they wish they could deliver. And takers will tend to overpromise and underdeliver over time. So this is another way that you can see them. We've got a few more people who are saying, joining in. Please say hi. Let me know where you're from. If you've got any questions, I'm going to have about 2 or 5 minutes to take questions right now. We've got 10 of you, 10 sets of eyes on this live. So if you've got any questions, do ask right now, because I'll be going in a few minutes, but I'd love to answer any questions that you do have now. And if you have other questions and you're on the replay, do ask in the chat. I will come in and type an answer for you. So this whole concept of givers, matchers, and takers, it's a social behavior in humans, but our social behaviors, often behaviors that we can be quite unaware of, that we can be kind of blind to. They're subconscious or unconscious behaviors, have a really powerful effect on our animals. And it's good to think about them and to start wondering, okay, where might I be doing these kinds of behaviors that might be not giving the absolute best outcome for my beautiful pets? So I can start thinking about maybe changing them. Okay, looks like we don't have any questions. So I'm going to say goodbye to you all for now. Hope you've enjoyed this presentation. I'll be back next week or soon with another one. And have a beautiful day with your beautiful pets. We'll see you next time.